Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and I want to talk to you about eyebrows and eyes and how important they are to your character's expression. Let me show you something right here. Got a skull. We all start with construction, and we all start, at least I do, even if I'm doing something very cartoony, I start in the real world, and I extrapolate from that, and I create my characters. I don't care if you're doing anime, Disney style, I don't care if you're doing SpongeBob. It helps to start with reality and then pull out from there. Let me take this off. So in reality, what we have is our eyebrows sit on this brow. Now in humans, the brow is flattened out quite a bit. If you're looking at gorillas, chimpanzees, they have a very pronounced brow. But we have a very flat brow, but there's still one there. And we've kind of given up that big pronounced brow and replaced it with eyebrows. And it enables us to have even more nuanced, expressive eyes, which is very important for what we're going to talk about today. Also, what I want to talk about is how the eyes sit inside the skull. We've got this bridge of the nose, and they sit inside under the brow. And these are things that a lot of young artists kind of forget, and it really gets difficult, especially when we're talking about that far eyes in a three-quarter view. It gets a little odd, and they have a hard time figuring that out. So today I want to show you how to do that. So I want to show you how to get more expressive eyebrows and more expressive eyes, how they work together, and expressions for your characters. Let's go ahead and go to the drawing board. So we've got our skull, and I want to just show you how everything sits on the skull first. So let's just start right here. And I've got, if you start with a ball, like so. So there's our skull, basically, right there. So let's draw over the top of that. So we have the skin come down. We've got our brow. Here's the bridge of a nose. The nose comes down. There's the nostril right there, like so. Now, once again, remember, the eye sits inside that socket, inside the skull. And so it's going to sit behind the bridge of the nose. Think of it wrapping around. And we tend to have a muscle right here. We have two muscles that come up this way and this way. Frontalis. And they pull the brow up and down. So here's our eyebrow. Sits right on that brow, right there. And now here on the other brow, sits like so. Okay? Right over the cheekbone. And we have our lips coming down like so, like that. Okay? Now, this is important to understand. You want to remember this bridge. It comes over and we go into the eye right here. It sits inside right there. Now, we can caricature this all we want, but as long as we think about this basic structure, we're going to be okay. Let's go ahead and do some more pushed, caricatured ideas. Okay, so what if we have a character that's a little bit more cartoony? I still think about that structure, okay? So let's say, once again, we're going to go a little three-quarter, maybe where it's a little bit of an upshot. So I'm going to be looking up like this, and we have a character. It's just a little bit more caricatured, okay? Now, what do we think about? Well, there's the brow right here. Here's our basic structure. It comes in right off of that edge of that orbital bone right there, okay? And then we have the other brow right here. The eyes, if you remember the bridge of the nose coming down, like so. The eyes sit inside. Okay? And sit inside here. Think of that bridge of the nose always and how the eyes sit behind that. That's how we think about doing those three-quarter views. So I can come in and draw those eyebrows in. And now, my character is sitting just right. The eyes are sitting right. I've got believable anatomy going on. Now this is more realistic, obviously, but we're going to push it more and more. There's our eyes sitting inside that skull. Okay? That's how I think about that basic construction. And I always draw that eye line and that brow line. Then you can build off of that, okay? And even the same thing with your mouth line. Thinking about perspective, how everything sits on the skull, okay? But think about those eyes. Now, let's get into some expressions. Okay, so once again, let's have a character a little more cartoony. Here's his nose. Now, let's have him angry. We've pushed a little more profile, 3/4, but I want to make sure we get that brow in there. That's the important thing. That brow comes right down. We're going to get a little wrinkle in the eye, in the nose, right there. Look at that brow come down like that. Then it's going to sit right over those eyes. But see that profile, how I've pushed to get this pushed right here. So we can push that even more. And I would pull those eyebrows right down in there. See how that sits right inside the socket. Just like so. Okay? Angry eyes. All right, so let's try one over here. How about if we have a character just slightly 3/4. Now I'm going to bring those eyebrows way up. I always like to start with those eyebrows. I don't say always, but a lot of times I like to. And then let it feed right into the nose. Here's our nose right here. Now, one thing to think about with your eyebrows and how they work with the eyes is you think of them as a unit. So if I'm drawing an eyebrow, let's say it's up here like so. Let's say this is the whole shape, where the eye sits. Eye sits in here. You can mimic that shape with the eye. See that shape? That shape? See that? They tend to work together. If I do a cartoony eye, like so. So let's come back in here. And once again, think about that other eye sitting inside that socket. Okay? Inside the socket. And the other thing is, as we pull our eyebrows up, we're going to get wrinkles in the forehead, right? Think of it like a rug. We've got a rug sitting here. When the rug is flat, it's just sitting flat. But if you push up against that rug, you get wrinkles in the rug, right? Our forehead is the same way. If you push up against that forehead, you're going to get wrinkles in the forehead. So here, once again, thinking about that bridge of the nose. And the eyelashes on the other side of the eye over here. Thinking about how that eye sits inside that socket. It sits behind the bridge of the nose. Remember that. Okay, there's expressive eyes. Wrinkles in the forehead, okay? What if we have a character that's feeling a little tired? Well, we can do, see I brought these, and he's trying so hard to keep his eyes open. Look at where I brought the eyebrows up. There's the brow right there. See that brow off the forehead? Little eyelids. They're coming out behind the bridge of the nose. Maybe he's bored. You can have all kinds of fun expressions. And the other key too is keeping it simple. And by mimicking these shapes in your eyes, you're keeping it simple. Here's a bored character right there. What if we want a character looking in a direction? You can guide that look with how you treat the eyebrows. Let's do another one. So let's have our character kind of looking off to the right. Well, one thing I like to do is open up that eyebrow, almost like the Rock. You can have him concerned looking. Push that eyebrow up. Boom. It's opening up this way, like that. Open everything up. So see how the eyebrows are open that way? This is a little trick I learned from my mentor, Glenn Keane, one of the greatest animators ever. So he's looking off to the right, pushing those as almost like they're connected. See how that feels like they're connected? That's important. Once again, the eye shape is mimicking the eyebrow, right? Just like so. So you can be somewhat cartoony. We're being a little bit cartoony here. But still follow real world structure. That makes it more believable. Just like so. So let's try it again. This time, what if he's really angry and looking right at us? You want to bring that brow way down. I like to think of this as, the brow is this muscle right here. We're going to bring this brow way down. Maybe a little scrunch on the nose. Angry. And I know all you got to do is get those eyes. You want to get that nice little bit of meat there between the bridge of the nose there. You can push it with the eyebrows right there. See that? Push those expressions. Use that anatomy and push those expressions. That's the key. You've got this big mass, of muscle under the brow, or as the brow, I should say. See that? Big changes. Put those eyes in the sockets. Put those brows over the eyes. Think of it as a shade coming over the eyes. Okay? Let's do one more. All right, let's end it on a happy note. Let's say we have a character here. And I want to go happy. I push those eyebrows. Push them way up. Yeah, I can mimic the shape of the brow. There, see there? Push those eyebrows. Don't be afraid to push. Change those shapes. Like so. And here, I'm going to push those cheeks right up under the eyes. Make sure that eye sits back behind that bridge of the nose. Look at the distance between the eye and the bridge of the nose here and how tight we've got the eye in there because it goes inside. It sits inside there. Okay? So that's how I approach my eyes and brows when I'm trying to get strong expressions. Try doing that. Look at how people are built and then caricature that. Push it. Look at these shapes, the shape of that brow, the shape of the overall shape right here. You know, that the whole brow makes. And then how the eye fits right inside there. If we draw a line through here, we're going to get the eye fitting right inside like so. Okay? Don't be afraid to really push that brow, but always remember there's that muscle there. That muscle sits right over the socket, and that's where you're going to get your great expressions. So go on out there, try pushing your expressions. Get those eyes, the eyebrows, get them working together. Think about that anatomy underneath. Even if you're doing cartoony characters, it's going to make your characters even stronger. So go on out there, put some beauty back into the world, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.